Couldn't be happier for the guys. They've put a good shift in. We went with an experienced older group, and they really emptied their tank for me tonight. Left a lot on the field, left it all on the field against a DC team that's, in my opinion, the best team in the East. The record says that, but I believe it as well. A lot of depth. You look at the bench that they had tonight. An impressive team. They compete. Their coach does a great job. Benny does a great job with them. So we always knew it was going to be tough. I thought Bill Hamid was excellent tonight. He made a couple saves point blank to keep them in it. Was happy with the fact that we kept the 0 at home. That's a key for me. Something I've preached and something we haven't delivered on. As a staff and as a team. So happy with the 0 in front of our home fans who were excellent. The fans, stuck with us, all the way till the last second where Pfeffer gets the goal. It was an exciting finish, but I do believe we deserved the 3 points tonight. I really do. We didn't give up a shot on goal, something that I'm very proud of the group. Everyone was committed. There were some dicey moments early on in the game where they got at us a little bit, but we kind of stayed calm and stuck to the game plan and started to get in behind them and create chances. And again, Bill was very good for them, and they're a very good team. They're going to be a team that's going to be playing in the playoffs and into a team competing for MLS Cup.
Jim, this was a night that started, as you know, with a lot of contentious stuff outside the stadium, protests and all that. How important in that context was it to get a win and let the fans go out here happy?
Yeah, it's huge. We have great fans. I think we have the best fans in the league. They've stuck with me. They've stuck with the team, and they've done a good job. Being that extra man, and to send them home happy tonight. They've been few and far between this year, obviously. So, you saw a lot of happy faces. A lot of people that had a little bit of relief. I think the players as well. There was kind of a little bit of we got through one, where we got a break and stuck with something, and we're rewarded for it. But tonight, like I said, I think we earned it, and I think our fans that were here supporting us were excellent for the whole 90 minutes, and they've stuck behind us, like I said.
Knowing that DC was coming off a midweek game, did you tweak anything specifically to go after them, knowing they might not have the legs?
Yeah. So we battled all week with team selection. The young fresh legs of Pfeffer and Ayuk, who are both guys that I'm still very high on. But it just matched up where you look at the individual matchups on the field. You look at an experienced DC team that it was always up for a fight. They're going to compete their butts off. They have winners on their team that are, older guys that play with a chip on their shoulder. Some have been kind of, I guess you'd consider casted off, but they're still amazing players, and they have a real good thing going. So that weighed into the fact that I chose a group that essentially got me my job last year, for lack of a better way to say it. So that's why you saw Connor and BC come into the fold, Seb out, right. And a pretty similar team to the group, minus maybe one or two guys that got going into the Open Cup run and helped propel me to this position.
Just to go back to what John was saying, we talked to the Sons of Ben leadership, and they drew a clear distinction between doing things outside of the stadium and that they didn't want to bring it inside the stadium, because they didn't want it to affect the players or the coaches, and they said that they supported you. Can you speak to that, to them drawing the line there on what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it?
Well, I certainly can't speak for them. I can speak.
What does that mean to you?
That they have my back. That's everything. That's.
They drew a clear distinction between they wanted to voice displeasure, but they didn't want it to affect the team itself, and they drew a clear boundary there.
Well, I would say first and foremost, they're entitled to displeasure when the team's only won one time coming into this game. So I look at myself in the mirror first, and I'm the guy that, again, we've had injuries, we've had different things, we've had call-ups, we've had off-the-field issues, we've had a lot that go through this year, and it's been very challenging. If you're a fan of this team, you're entitled to be pissed off at how this year is going. I'm pissed off at how this year is going. It's not gone the way we wanted. So I share their sentiment. I feel the same way. So again, to know that they still support us on the field was excellent. It was special tonight. It was electric in here, and you leave the remembering that this is again a place that teams hate coming. You walk off the field with some of my old teammates at Chris Rolfe, and they feel that same energy, and our fans are the best.
Jim, two things. One is, could you talk about Latou's play on that goal on the dummy? It looked like that was a real major thing. And the other thing is about Casey, just the effort that he gave tonight.
Yeah, the goal obviously, it's great for Zach to get on the end of that, coming into the game and giving us energy and giving us some legs. I thought Fabi actually came into a tough spot. It's always tough as a defender, but Zach did very well on the goal. But yeah, the little things off the ball that you don't see, that lead up to the cross and then that lead up to the good dummy, and then Zach moving in the box and being committed to get into the box. Something we always talk about: be the better team in both boxes, and that's who wins. You can talk formations and tactics and this and that, and DC is a perfect example of it. They win. On most nights they win the battles in the box, defensively and offensively. To speak about Connor, I thought he was excellent tonight. He gave me everything he had. It's no secret he's getting older and he hasn't played a ton of minutes, but it's a sign of a true professional that when your number's called, you give a shift like that. And he left everything out there. He's a fan, favorite for a reason, because he doesn't take anything from anyone on the field, and for him to go 90 minutes tonight and still be winning head balls towards the end of the game in the 89th minute to flick balls on and still push and give us life was impressive from him. I joked about when I talked to the starting 11 the day before the game, I looked around and I said, this is the group that gave me my job. So I'm going to, buy into you guys now and believe in you. And I looked around, and I'm going to need 90 minutes from you. And when I looked at Connor, I went, about 60 from you, and we laughed. But he emptied his tank and gave me the extra 30 tonight. Due to, different injuries, and the game changed about 6 different times. Silva gets hurt, BC gets hurt, Noguera, Ray goes down. A lot of crazy things in the game tonight.
Jim, when you leave to head home tonight, do you feel more relief, more exhilaration, both? I guess, what are your just thoughts? It's been such a trying season.
Yeah, I mean, I never feel relief. I'm happy when we win. That's the way I am. But I don't really dwell on it too long. I don't have time to think that we've accomplished anything yet, because we haven't. We won a soccer game at home. That's what you're supposed to do, and it's what we need to do more of if we want to get back in this thing. Fortunately, it's crazy that I'm still saying the Eastern Conference is still it's not out of the question. If you look at the 6th spot to where we are now, it's close, So we're in there, even though we probably shouldn't be. We don't deserve to be with our record. I've preached to you guys before. You are what your record says you are, and this is where we are right now. We've had tough breaks, and tonight a break went our way, and we score in the end. So, I understand the word relief because it has been a stressful, crazy season, but more happy for our players because they deserve 3 points.
It's been a stop-start season for Zach Pfeffer. He's played in a number of positions, had that red card. How important was it for his confidence going forward?
Yeah, Zach's a great young player, and people forget he's still 20 years old. He brings it every day in training now. He's really improved, like I've mentioned to you guys, on the defensive side of the ball. It has been a wild season because he's had a good preseason. When we had all of our depth, he was first or second option off the bench. He had situations where he's called into national team camps for weeks at a time. The red card is a great example of how we just haven't had a lot of cohesion as a team yet this year. So there's always something. Someone's in and out, international duty. We'll miss Mo next game now because of yellow cards. So it's always something. But Zach is, I believe that if you work hard, good things will happen, and he's been a real bright spot this year for us. Not just because he scored tonight, though, because there's more to his development and his growth than getting on the score sheet. Yeah, that's a great goal to score, and it could propel him to bigger and better things, and it builds confidence. But he's doing a lot more little things off the ball. I know he can score. I've seen that. It's the other things that I'm happier with that he's improved on as a player and as a man, to be honest.
this year. Two things. One, how have you kept the team together and believing in one another as a cohesive unit? And then where do you go from here? How do you build on this big victory?
Yeah, they're a tight knit group. You know, when you only have one win, there's a lot of discussions and people calling. People are always calling the teams towards the bottom of the league to make trades, and I got a lot of phone calls. But I still believe in this group. Do we need to add some pieces? Yes, for sure. But the group is strong. You can see they fight for each other. There's no question about that. With the exception of maybe 2 games, I think we've been in every game. The critical moments we've come up short. I'd actually like to commend Maurice Adu for keeping the group together. It's been a big step in his growth and his leadership. He's always been a great player, exceptional player, has qualities that I can't teach or coach, but he's really gotten and improved on being kind of the man in the locker room that keeps everything going in the tough times, you know, because anybody can lead when you're winning and it's easy. It's the guys that can lead in the hard times. So those are the real leaders in my eyes, because you know, it's easier for the Manchester Uniteds and the Chelseas of the world. Everyone says, oh, they're all great leaders. They have so many leaders. But when it's hard and you're Wigan or somebody that's going through a tough time, that's when you really see who the real leaders are.
Joe here.
You see this kind of as a turning point, but you know, some see DC as a team to beat the East to get Red Bull next week.
Yeah.
How do you try and propel this into a good showing against them?
Yeah, Jesse Marsh is a great friend of mine. He's done a heck of a job getting them to buy in. They high press all over the field. Red Bull Arena is a tough place to go. No secret they're a big rival. We'll be a little shorthanded. We'll hope Ray can bounce back, and we'll be missing Mo. But we get a couple guys back and Marquez. But yeah, there's no time to celebrate in this league, because you can see, you watch the results every weekend, and the team that everybody talks about has a tendency to have a down slide. You know, even in players, we joke about all the time. Whatever player the MLS website praises and praises either has a red card or a tough game or something wild happens. So it's a very fickle league. You know, in a lot of ways, you don't want to get too high or too low. But hopefully this can kind of start us in a bit of an upward tick. But we don't get an easy one with having to go to Red Bull. But it is a rivalry game, and you can kind of throw the records out the window when we play them.
Jim, how aware were you of how the other results had gone this weekend? It seemed like some of the other Eastern Conference teams who have been struggling got quite eye-catching results, or the sort of things that they can build on this weekend.
Yeah, we watch all the games, obviously, and you did see some you know, Orlando. I don't know what that wound up. It was 4-0 when I walked out. Did that finish that way? Yeah. So, you know, when there's a little desperation and urgency, it changes things in our league. You know, the margin for error in our league and the difference between the teams is a small one, but someone's got to finish last and someone's got to finish first. We all know who the top. You know, the Seattles, the Galaxies are usually the top tier teams, but there's a lot of parity, and week to week, it's a fight and it's a grind. You know, a team like DC, you know, I was laughing early in the year when teams are calling them lucky. I think that's a joke. Benny's a winner, and he's acquired winners, and that's a great team. They'll have something to say about how this thing ends up. But you know, you have to get in the playoffs. That's our goal still. You know, once you get in, though, I do think anyone can beat anyone in this league.
Last one, Eli.
Any early thoughts on Vincent's condition, and can you shed a little light on how Ray got rolled up on and what you're thinking with him?
Yeah, Ray actually he just rolled his ankle. Haven't had a test or anything on it yet, but he just kind of collided, I believe, actually with Ethan. So it was kind of self-inflicted or team-inflicted. Vincent was just a cramp in his hamstring, so we made that change. Yeah, so you know, it's the next man up mentality. You know, we do have Shane can slide to the right if Ray is out, and Fabi can come in and do a good job on the left for us. So, you know, it's challenging. You know, Ray's a warrior. He tried to play through it, got to about 8 minutes, and he said, "I could finish, but I'm not right. I'm not myself." And the worst thing would be to have him, you know, not only playing injured out there and be kind of a target for them, but also hurt it more, you know, and we didn't want that to happen, where now it's a thing he's chasing 6 weeks, you know, and it's a season-long thing. So, yeah, so we'll assess how he is, but we'd miss him. Obviously, he's a great player. Thank you.